Hey, y'all. Help me make sense of this verse. Grab your Bibles, turn over to Matthew 5:39 and 40. It says, "But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other cheek also. And if anyone wants to sue you and take your shirt, hand over your coat as well." I I mean, I guess I could see someone making the argument to remove yourself from a violent situation rather than fight back. But to ask people to stand there and take abuse, that's evil. I mean, that's evil. Don't do that. Like, resist evil. Do not just allow it to continue. I honestly do not know why Jesus would want his followers to take abuse, but it seems to me if he actually cared about them, he wouldn't advise them to just stand there and take it. Maybe somebody knows what the proper interpretation is of this verse or any in the Bible. If so, give us a call because the show's starting right now. That's right, folks. Get excited because today is January 21, 2024, and this is the Atheist Experience. I'm your host, Secular Rarity, and joining me today is the Murtad who knows more than your mullah. It's Armand Navabi. What's up, man?
Hey, that's a great intro.
I
Yeah, I
thought about
love
it like
that.
right before we started. It made me really happy.
That,
So
that's I made me happy now too. Thank you for that. Okay, that's the best intro I've ever received. Thank you.
You're welcome. And all of you are welcome, by the way, because we are possibly the two greatest hosts for the Atheist Experience. We are amazing in so many ways. It's hard to be as cool as we are. And we're here today. So again, you're welcome, folks. Y'all are welcome. How was the news this morning, Armin? You always do a news show on Atheist Republic on Sundays. How was that? Was it
Oh
some good
yeah,
stuff?
it was weird. It was really weird. On Atheist, we were talking about again, guys. This is not a conspiracy theory, and it has led to a lot of anti-Semitic stories. But the story itself is real. We were talking on Atheist Republic about Jews digging up holes under New York. And again, this is not an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. It literally happened. I first heard it, thought this is an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, but it's happening. So I mean, if you want to go watch our commentary on it on Atheist Republic. But yeah, anyways,
I can just tell you right now, I mean, real estate is bad. So, I mean, you gotta
I
take
mean, it
all the
makes
space
sense.
you can get.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, don't blame them. True.
Well, folks, we are here to take your calls. We want our friends out there that are believers. We want our Christians, our Muslims, our Hindus. We want you all to give us a call and tell us why you believe what you believe. Because that's what we're interested in here, because we don't believe in your God. So, but before we go grab those calls, I got to tell you some wonderful things. Like, for instance, the Atheist Experience is a product of the Atheist Community of Austin, a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to the promotion of atheism, critical thinking, secular humanism, and the separation of religion and government. So if you don't like any of those things, this is your time to shine, buddy. This is your time. Just call us. The number's right there on the screen, 512-991-9242. And because we want to hear from you, we even give you another route. You got this tiny.cc/call-AXP thing. So you can just do it right from your computer. You don't even need a phone. Isn't it amazing? Now we've got the share your experience from last week, Armin. Okay. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Good. Because I have to warn all of our wonderful viewers out there right now. If you're just listening on the podcast, you will be spared at least a little bit. But if you're viewing out there right now, you're just warning, you might get a little hot and bothered by this next picture. It is a very gorgeous picture of myself and Armin. We look really good. I mean, look at that. We are like pristine in that right there. But the question we asked from you last week was, what are SR and Armin thinking so hard about Wrong answers only. So number 3 from Sam TS. Armin and SR are thinking, if tomato is a fruit, isn't ketchup a smoothie? I would say yes. I would say yes, personally. I did hear at one point there was like some school flirting with the idea of saying like pizza is considered like a vegetable because it has tomato sauce on it. But it's like, wait, but tomatoes are fruits. So you're just like wrong all the way around. But
I wouldn't say yes.
You would.
I think it would. No, because it's not about what you do with the fruit that makes it a smoothie. It's about how you consume it that makes it a smoothie.
Well, so if you drink ketchup,
yes.
If you put a straw and just drink ketchup out the bottle, then it's a smoothie.
That would make, then it's a smoothie. Yes.
All right. If you disagree with Armin that ketchup isn't a smoothie, call us back. That may be the most controversial thing you've ever said for something. But number 2 from Smile and Bobbert, share your experience. In the picture, Armin and SR look like they're considering what flavor of baby they want to eat for lunch. That is true. That is actually difficult. You know, years ago, it was so easy. You only had one flavor of baby. But now they do barbecue. They do the Flamin' Hot actually is really good. So.
Oh, I haven't tried that.
Flamin' Hot babies. Yeah, they do it with everything.
Not yet. No. Okay.
And number 1, we've got from Miranda Rensberger, SR looking at a menu board. I'll have a double latte, no foam. No, wait. Make that a chat. No, hang on. And Armin working the cash register. Jesus fucking Christ. Would this guy just order already? I can see that, honestly. I can see that. I look deep in thought, and you look kind of bored. Honestly,
you know, you could mix all of those together. You could be ordering a baby, and I'm like receiving your order, and then I ask you if you want ketchup on that.
If I want ketchup on that, oh my gosh!
Yeah.
If that's not, if that right there is not proof of a divine plan from an all-knowing, all-loving deity, I just don't know what is. Like that was perfect, you guys. Yeah, that's the power. That's the power of the Lord God Almighty, right? Thank you so much, as always, for your comments. We love to see what you guys have to say for us. And this week, we've got another one. And I think this will be pretty good. I think we're going to get some good responses. But I'm going to start with you, Armin. So the question for this week, why did God really create humans?
I mean, I don't even have to think about this because I've always thought about this. I always thought about writing a book about God and angels being bored for like thousands and thousands of years. And at some point they decide to just make humans and just like come up with different scenarios, like sometimes throw rocks at them or flood and just see what they do, just so that they could have some sort of entertainment. Sometimes like, what if we just start talking to them like through a burning bush or through an angel? Like, what if we send one of their angels down there and told them to write a book? So just like an experiment, just they were bored. The God and angels were bored for, and they were like, let's just do something fun. I think
it makes really good
sense. That would be a good movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at the rise of reality television over the last 20 years, I mean, honestly, it makes good sense that a God would be doing that. Like, right? I mean,
right. Yeah.
If you have another answer, get it in the comment section below this video, okay? Because every week we pick our top 3 favorites, and you might be chosen and have it read out on screen and praised or admonished by the host. I don't know. I can't speak for others. They might admonish you for your comments. But
by the way, if we are in a simulation, that is the actual answer. That is.
It is. Yes. Yes, folks. If we are in a simulation, if that is true, then God and the angels created us just to play with us. Yes, I think that follows. I really do. I'm sure nobody out there disagrees, and they won't call in. But maybe somebody out there isn't as logical as we are, Armin, and they disagree. So I know we'll get some good calls. I know we will, because I am constantly hearing about how I need Jesus Christ in my life, and I don't have him currently. I have this water bottle and a really cool coaster, but no Jesus. So if you've got him, send him our way. But We are going to go and grab some calls now. We are actually going to head out to Tunisia. I am excited. We're going to talk with Not Mohammad. He, him in Tunisia is got a question kind of about where you are in life and whether or not you should kind of talk about your beliefs and stuff. But hey, Not Mohammad, you're on with Secular Rarity and Armin Navabi. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I just want to ask if it's, I live in a Muslim family, and I am currently an atheist. It hasn't been a long time since that. So basically, my family doesn't know about it. So, and they will not be receptive to it, I'm sure. Is it worth it that I tell them, or should I just keep it to myself?
Armin, I'm gonna kick to you first.
Well, I mean, it really depends on a whole bunch of other things. So my understanding, before we go to your family, my understanding is in Tunisia, the consequences that you would face from coming out as an atheist is less from the government and more based on your family and your surroundings and your community. Like relative to other Muslim countries, Tunisia is less, correct me if I'm wrong, is less dangerous for you to be known as an atheist. Is that correct? Because before we talk about your family, we have to take that into account. There's no laws in Tunisia. My understanding is that for you to be able to say that. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's not illegal to be an atheist here in Tunisia. So
okay, it's not illegal. You have no worries about that. Okay,
yeah.
So the price that you would pay for coming out as an atheist would be mostly from your family rejecting you, being how far do you think, based on what you know about your family, how bad could that get? Like, would they be disowning you, or would they just be upset? How severe the situation could get?
I mean, for sure they'll be upset, but I think my dad would go as far as cutting me off, disowning.
Okay, good. So what are the reasons why you would want to tell them, and what are the reasons why you wouldn't want to tell them? Like,
it's a good question.
If you want to do a cost-benefit analysis here.
Okay, so the reason I want to tell them is, I want to be myself with my parents, because I love them, I guess. And reasons I wouldn't want to tell them, well, I don't want to lose them. I love my family, even though I don't agree with their belief one bit. Also, I'm actually afraid of what health risks that could occur when I tell them.
You think they'll suffer negative health consequences because of your beliefs?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like they'll be grieved or potentially, something worse that we can't say for terms of services on YouTube and so forth, right? Is that kind of the route you're saying you think is a possibility?
Yeah.
How likely it is? How likely do you think it would get for it to get that? Is it possible for you to test the waters before like jumping right in? Like, what if you were not coming out as an atheist? Again, I don't know if this is the right answer, but what if you were just showing skepticism in front of them to see how they would react, rather than just coming out and full on saying you're an atheist? Is that a possible, like, in between to test the situation?
I guess it could be possible, but the thing is, I'm never open with my parents, so that kind of creates a wall between us. But I've never tried it. I cannot do it.
How about before going to the telling them you're an atheist first, to first fix that gap? You know what I mean? Like, what if you start working on creating a really strong bond with them, spending more time with them, calling them more often, expressing how much you love them, expressing how much you appreciate them, and build that bond and make that bond stronger over a couple of years before you decide to maybe experiment with being, I don't. Is that an option for you? Because maybe they would lose something, but they would gain. I mean, they would lose a Muslim son, but they would gain a loving son in the process of you trying to. You would take something away from them, but you would give something that might be even more valuable to them. Like if they notice your presence and your love in their life for a couple of years, maybe it would be a less of a disaster once they realize. Maybe at some point they would also connect the two together. Maybe they would think like, okay, our son became more loving and more compassionate and more expressive with his emotions ever since he has left Islam. Maybe there's something between the connection. There's a connection between these. Maybe they will start appreciating the fact that you left Islam. I don't know. Maybe good things could happen.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't.
Is
I
that
don't.
possible? Yeah.
Real quick,
Go
Not
ahead.
Mohammad. I don't think you're not entitled. I'm sorry. People are not entitled to know every little bit of information about you, right? Even your family. And for sure, the biggest thing that is going to be, what's important for your calculus is your risk, right? And if your life is not at risk, right, that's awesome. That's amazing. That's a huge thing, because that is not the case for so many people around the world, right? If your financial stability is not at risk, right, again, amazing situation to be in, something that, again, a lot of people are not in that situation. If those two things are off the table and you are safe in those two instances, man, you are in such an awesome position compared to so many, and that's great. But do not think that you are then required to do this, okay? Do not put that on yourself, because there is still risk, and you've already mentioned it. The mental and emotional tax that you will be burdened with, knowing that these are the potential outcomes. Hey, it could be the case, man. You have this conversation, and then all of a sudden, your dad looks at you and goes, "Hey, man, actually, I've kind of been having some of these questions too." And y'all become closer and more friendly and loving than you've ever been in your life. But it would be wrong to say that the possibility of being completely cut off from your family is not on the table, because it is. And so with that, don't feel bad if the decision that you make for yourself in this instance is not one where you can just start coming out and, burning Qurans in public or something, right? Like, do not put this burden on yourself of being like, well, at least they're not going to kill me, so I should no, man. It's a hard thing to lose your emotional support group like that, man. So absolutely, I mean, feel comfortable knowing that the decision, whether other people agree or not, man, it's your decision. You have that right to choose for yourself. You're out of Islam now. You don't need to submit to some higher authority anymore. But yeah, give us some thoughts on this, and then we'll go grab some other calls.
Well, I'm happy to say that I'm financially independent, so I'm not gonna lose much. In that point, so that's good. But about my family, I think I'll try to build more bridges with them, be more open. I think seeing their reaction after that will help me decide if I should open up to them more or not. And what you said is right.
Yeah.
I really don't have to tell them.
Yeah. You
So,
get to decide.
so if you decide, Elliot is completely right. If you decide to tell them because what matters to you is mostly to be true to yourself, that is the right choice. But if you also decide not to tell them because your family being in your life, it matters the most to you, that is also the correct answer, because it really depends on you and what. But the only suggestions I make is to just go by, don't just go step by step and evaluate every step based on what the information that you're collecting. Just evaluate and take the next step. Like, don't make a rash decision, because you don't know what. Just be just see how they react to the different information that you're giving them. And also, I don't think there's harm you can't it's rare that you can go wrong when it comes to showing more love to people. I think giving more love and expressing more love to people and spending time with the people that are important in your life is often the solution to a lot of problems people are having. And it's really hard, like for vast majority of people, parents, children, brothers and sisters, I think if you actually put in the effort to try to build that connection and show them that you care for them and that you love them, it's really hard for them to see that and then learn something about you and then want to cut you from your life or want to be angry with you, because this is something that has worked for me a lot. Every time I want to say something or do something that I know somebody that I love is going to hate it, I just surround that event with a lot of pre-love and post-love, and usually it doesn't matter what came in between. It doesn't matter as much as I thought it would have.
Yeah,
that's my strategy in my work.
Yeah, I think Armin has provided a lot of really good first steps and stuff. And the only thing I'll finish with, Not Mohammad, and then I'll let you wrap us up. I just want to say, whatever you end up deciding and whatever the outcomes are, whether they're phenomenal or whether they're, absolutely terrible, give us a call back. Let us know what happened. Because if it worked out, we want to let other people know, because maybe it'll work for them too. And if it didn't work, we're going to be here to grieve with you and to share. And come hang out in our fan run communities and stuff. We got a bunch on Facebook and Discord and all that good stuff. Bunch of wonderful people that are just here to provide support. So give us your last thoughts, man, and we'll wrap up.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to say thank you for your advices. That's pretty helpful. And I'm a new fan of the show, so I'll check Facebook and every other platform.
Yeah, thanks so much, man. You'll definitely be able to find it all in the comments and the description and whatnot. So yeah, thanks so much, Not Mohammad. We really appreciate you giving us a call. And those are always calls that I think kind of invigorate a lot of us here, because it for a good few of us, we've been away from religion for so long, and so it's nice to get that tangible reminder that there are people out there still fighting for all of this, still right in the thick of things and dealing with all the fallout. And we want to be able to provide kind of a soft and safe place for them to land. So gosh, I love that. Hey, Armin, can you see in the private chat here? Can you see those super chats we got? We got a couple of super.
Oh, you're gonna make me read them?
Just
How
the
dare
first
you?
one. I think it's funny.
Okay. Okay. Let me just see. The gayest husky master is saying heaven equals the imaginary life that religion promises for giving up this life. Hell equals a threat that some haters use to feel better about being wrong. Oh, I
like it, right? See, it's a good chat. We also got $5 from Nikki D. Thank you both so much, saying, I ask believers why their imaginary friend hates me and demands so much of me. The answers are long and varied, like the Bible. Yeah, I bet that's right, Nikki. I bet they are rambling and not exactly informative, but that's okay.
Before the show, I was telling Elliot how great it is not to be the main host because I don't have to read stuff. And then he heard me saying that, and then he told me to now read a super chat. I see what you're
I don't think there is any proof of that. I don't think you can point to anything whatsoever to demonstrate the truth of those claims, Armin. But that's okay. That's fine. Whatever. I'm just a good skeptic over here, and you're not. So. With that, I'm going to tell you guys about a super, super duper cool thing we have been doing for a while now. And we are completing phase 1. Phase 1 of what, you ask? Well, our brick fundraiser, you guys. We have been running this for a while, and we are now at the stage of completing phase 1 at the end of this month. So like what, 9 days, 10 days? January is 31 days, right? Yeah, that seems right. 10 days. So we are super duper excited because we are featuring a brick, and the brick we're featuring this week comes from Austin in Delaware, who engraved Let logic and evidence guide you. I freaking love that. Thank you so much, Austin. I couldn't agree with you more, man. And thank you so much to everybody that has done that. This is a massive, massive thing that is really helping out a wonderful, wonderful community. And be sure to get your purchase in by the end of January. So you still have about just like a week and a half, like a little bit over a week and a half. So tiny.cc/ACA bricks, folks. Easy peasy. And you can get all that cool stuff. And before we get into anything else, Armin, let's go talk to somebody. Let's talk to a believer. We have Mikey. He, him in Georgia is saying that atheism is a belief system just like nihilism. Well, hey, Mikey, you're chatting with Armand Navabi and Secular Rarity. What is up?
I'm blessed. How are you?
Yeah. Same. #blessed.
No hashtags,
just blessed.
High life.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Just blessed.
Well,
just
yeah.
blessed.
Talk to us about this. You
whole
say that
eternity is
atheism
going to be a hashtag.
you say that atheism is a belief system. Tell us your thoughts on that. I mean, I already disagree,
or we could just do the rest of the call about your problem with hashtags. We could do that.
Oh,
as
yeah.
well. We could go that route.
Well, hang on. We're gonna do the God thing first, Mikey, and then we'll bring up the hashtags. Okay?
Yes. Let's do atheism first.
Oh, okay. Let's do atheism first, then we do hashtag second. Atheism is a belief system just like nihilism. I'm sick of people saying atheism isn't a belief system because you have to believe that you're an atheist. Then you have to identify that you are an atheist, correct?
Is that what a belief system is for you? Is that the extent of a belief system? Is that the only criteria?
No, that's one of the qualifications of a belief system.
So then what are the rest?
I'm not a walking dictionary, but
what are the rest then?
qualifications.
Because currently what it sounds like you've given us criteria that is essentially not helpful in determining anything, right? Because like what you're saying there is like, I don't know, stamp collecting is a belief system because you have to identify as being a stamp collector first. But I wouldn't say stamp collecting is a belief system. So like what are other attributes of a belief system? I would tend to say like a doctrine, like a codified doctrine. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean, being a Democrat is a belief system. It doesn't have a codified doctrine. So by
the Democratic, hold up. Wait. The Democratic Party does absolutely have a party platform. Like that's not up for debate. So they do have a strict guidelines of the positions that they as an organization take. So where is that for atheism?
Okay, let's switch it up. Being an independent. What is the doctrine of being an independent?
Just want to make sure real quick. You're saying you can't answer that question, so we're going to move on. No problem. I'm happy to let it go. I'll unmute you, but right after Armin asks his question.
Okay, so how about this, Mike? Let's try this. What is your statement here says atheist is a belief system. Okay, so maybe you're correct. I want to understand what is atheism and what is a belief system. Like, how do you? And I don't expect you to be, as you said, a walking dictionary. Just based on what you think atheism is, can you define it based on your understanding? What is atheism?
All right. Could you give me 60 seconds? Like 60
Heck
seconds.
yeah, we can.
I know
Heck yeah, we can.
Yeah, but before we give you 30 seconds, can I get not? I don't want the characteristics of. Okay, before you start, I want a definition, and I don't want you to like elaborate about what it leads to, or what you think it must lead to, or what the characteristics of atheism are. I want a definition of atheism, okay, not an explanation of what the outcomes of atheism are, and also a definition of a belief system. Right. So
clear,
those
Mikey?
are what we're asking.
60 seconds. Is everything Armin just said clear? You understand the task?
Wait, could I get 2 60-second intervals? Because now
whoa,
atheism
whoa. I've muted you again here, buddy. You can have as much 60-second intervals as you like whenever you create the longest running atheist call-in show in the world and put it on for 26 years every Sunday. We are being very generous, I think. We are allowing you a full uninterrupted 60 seconds at your request. I feel like if we make it through that positively, we have the potential for more uninterrupted 60 seconds. So let's try to accomplish this. Armin, give us one more time. I've got you on mute right now, Mikey. I'm going to unmute you in just a second. You're probably going to hear a little beep. But Armin, lay this out one more time so we're all clear. We want the definition of atheism, right?
Right. And the definition of a belief system. And
Okay.
we don't want the characteristics. We don't want an explanation for what atheism would lead to necessarily or not. We just want definitions here.
Got it. I'm on board. Just
Right.
give us your best, Mikey. We're not expecting it to be perfect. We understand you're not a dictionary, but the task is very clear, I think. I'm going to unmute you, and then we're going to start the clock. All right? Unmuting you now. Clock is starting.
Wow, I see that this show is mute crazy. Yeah, I'm not going to start the. They're right. I haven't started the longest radio show or whatever, but both of you are relatively new. All right, so atheism is the rejection of a prime agent that created everything. Now, that's one of the definitions. Otherwise, a person that rejects gods, goddesses, because people always forget about women, demigods, and I would add even angels, because angels are the agents of God, is an atheist. What more would I like to add? Atheism is not a personality trait. Atheism is not
We
a.
didn't ask. Okay, the 1 minute is up, but we didn't ask for the things that it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, we asked for the things that it is. But also, can you say what you mean by belief system?
Yeah, give us that. We don't need to do a whole clock again. We'll just give us a summary just like that. What do you think a belief system is? Because it sounds like what you're saying atheism is at least decent on the right page. Yeah, a little wrong.
Well, I mean,
but
it's not a rejection. It seems like what you think of atheism is more of a positive claim, and maybe me and Elliot are not thinking about a positive claim. But we're happy to work with your definitions. Like, we're not like, if maybe our definitions would not make it a belief system, but maybe the way you define atheism, maybe it would make it a belief system. And then we could explain to you how we look at atheism, and you could understand maybe why, based on our definitions, it wouldn't be a belief system. And we will cooperate with you. Maybe based on yours, it would. So now that we understand what you think of what atheism is, what do you think a belief system is?
The reason why my definition of atheism leaned towards the positive is I tried to make it like neutral. I know there's a difference between positive atheism and negative atheism. There's multiple layers of atheism. That's why it's a belief system, because when it comes to belief systems, there's multiple layers of assumptions. And that's
what you
more or
mean
less
when you say a belief system? When you say the words in casual conversation to your friends or neighbors or random strangers, when you say the phrase belief system, do you genuinely mean the words you just said, which is, I believe what you said was a thought that has multiple layers? I feel like that's not what you actually mean when you say that, because that would be nonsensical. So let's one more time. When you say belief system, what do you mean by that? I understand that you say atheism is a belief system. I'm just trying to get at what those words mean to you in your head whenever you say them publicly.
Okay, I think you kind of, I don't know if this was on purpose or you accidentally did this. I think you kind of straw-manned what I said.
Hey, fine, happy. I straw-manned it. I'm wrong. Correct me. Here's the question. Very clear, very simple. What do you mean when you say belief system?
All right. So what do I mean when I say belief systems? I said it. Casual layers of assumptions and claims.
Layers.
I'm
So I
sorry if
I
Okay,
was
so-
right. I just want to point out that what I said was actually pretty close to what you're now doubling down on. Hey, let's try this. Mikey, give me just a second. I'm just going to give Armin here 30 seconds. Armin, what do you mean when you say the words belief system?
I mean, I just looked up the definition. And
Oh,
it's a pretty
snap.
good one.
What yeah. What's that?
A belief system is a set of principles or tenets that form at the basis of a person's understanding, interpretation, and evaluation of the world.
Yeah,
There.
I think that's pretty
That's
good.
just,
I think that's pretty good. I
yeah.
accept that. Do you also like that definition, Mikey? Could you accept that definition for this conversation?
I mean, not really, but it can work, I guess.
What's your problem with that
And-
definition?
It's just a little bit too robotic, and it's not really ideal to how we as like human beings use casual like language.
But I don't
Like,
think
I
I don't
kinda
think
hate
your
going-
definition is one that actually allows us to make any progress in conversation. Your definition is one that seemingly applies to like everything in the world. And that seems like not a good way to distinguish between stuff, man. I think a more robust definition like the one Armin provided is actually a little bit better. And I think definitely under that understanding, atheism could not be considered a belief system. Please, please, Armin.
Okay, so here's the thing, Mikey. So we have these things called words, and they're there for us to communicate, all right? And for them to be effectively used for us to communicate, we need to, agree on the definitions of it. So it's okay for Mikey to have his own definitions. That's completely fine. But the definitions that gives us the most utility out of words are the definitions that more people are using, right? So given that the word atheist, so the word atheist could mean something to Mikey, and it could mean something else to more people out there. And the word, the belief system could mean something specifically to Mikey, and it could mean something else to how most people use these words. So I gave you the definition for belief system, and that's what most people, I mean, it's completely fine to you to mean something else. You're like, that sounds robotic. Mikey doesn't like it. Okay, Mikey doesn't like. Mikey could use a different definition. But we understand that most people, when they say belief system, that's usually what they mean. And when they also say atheist, what I told you, they usually mean a lack of belief in God. So if we go by Mikey's definition, maybe atheism is a belief system. For example, based on my definitions, humanism is a belief system. I have no problem with saying humanism is a belief system.
Yeah, totally.
But given the definition that we use for atheism, if you agree with if you choose our definition, so I'm not saying our definition is correct, maybe your definition is better, but do you see, Mikey, that if we go with our definition, which is a lack of belief in God, if that was a definition, and if the definition of a belief system was what I just read to you, then by those definitions, which might be the wrong definitions, but by those definitions, atheism would not be a belief system. Do you see that?
I think the definition you gave, a lack of the belief in God, is more or less associated with abonism. I forgot what the word. I don't know if it's abonism, but it starts with an A. And
agnosticism.
Agnosticism.
Being agnostic. That more
apatheist
with being agnostic.
Are you thinking like apathy, like apatheist, like
no,
somebody
agnostic.
that just doesn't care?
No.
Okay.
Agnostic.
Okay. But
okay,
agnostic
you know what
is
agnostic is.
Yeah. Agnostic is generally saying that somebody does not have knowledge on something. It's talking about whether or not somebody has knowledge, right? Whereas theist and atheist are talking about the belief that somebody holds, right? So in a lot of different usage, go ahead. No, go ahead, Armin. You
But
just
that
threw-
was not even the question. I think Mikey
know.
went up before we agree or disagree on the definitions. I just wanted to make it clear, if that is the definition, let's say Armin is using the wrong definition for atheism and Mikey is using the correct definition for atheism. My question is that if the definition of atheism is a lack of belief in God, and if the definition of a belief system is what I just read to you, based on those definitions, would you agree that atheism is not a belief system? If that was the definition, can we at least agree on that? I mean, I think that's a pretty easy thing to agree on.
I think that's a fair compromise. What do you think, Mikey?
I mean, it's easy. It's easy to agree on, but I don't really, even with your standard definition of what you said a belief system is, I don't agree that atheism is not a belief system based on your frigid definition you gave from the dictionary. And which
How so?
dictionary is that? Is
What?
that Webster?
Where's the problem? Hang on. Stop. Don't try to pretend you're gonna dispute lexicography. Chill out, man. Dictionaries have a frickin' science to them that people have been doing for a very long time. Okay, we don't need to go do anything like that. Let's just take you where you're at, man. You said, hey, even with that definition of lack of belief for atheism, whether it's wrong or right, I'm giving you your tools. You guys say it's a lack of belief, fine. Even given that definition of belief system, hey, I think it's a bit strict. I think it's a bit robotic, but I'm giving you your tools. You say that they still have a contradiction, that there's still a problem here. So Armin and I are saying, hey, man, we don't think so. Could you point it out to us? Based on the definitions that Armin and I have provided for atheism and belief system, just letting us play with our toys, what's the problem? Where is the issue there? Tell us. We'd love to know.
Well, lack of belief is more of an agnostic atheist, and there's all types
So
of
what you're
atheists.
just saying
There's
is
positive
instead of
atheists,
saying that the definitions that Armin and I gave you, instead of saying you're going to accept those for an internal critique, which is what you're trying to do here, you're going to say those definitions just aren't real to begin with, bro. Do you see why that's not particularly satisfactory in this discussion? What we've done is Armin and I have said, hey, man, all our cards are on the table. We are more than willing to say that these definitions are flat out wrong. But let's just go with it for a minute. You then look at that and say, yeah, I can do that. And based on that, it's wrong. And then when we ask you where it's wrong, point it out to us, show us. Your response is to say, well, atheist, that's not really the definition anyway. So do you see how that's not playing the game you agreed to?
I mean, you're using like the most bread toast definition of atheism.
So freaking what? Deal with it. You're the one who said you're going to deal with it, man. You're the one that said, I'll grant you these definitions. You're the one that's playing this game. If you don't want to play this game, stop playing, man. It's fine. But you showed up and said, here's my definitions. And we said, hey, we use different definitions. Based on those definitions, are we wrong? And you said, yeah, based on those definitions, you're wrong. And then when we say, based on those definitions, tell us where we're wrong, you say, I don't want to play anymore. That's not what we agreed to. I want to play a different game. Do you just see how that doesn't make any sense, man? Do you see how that's problematic? Like, Armin and I will say after this, if you genuinely want to, we'll give you your toys. We'll let you play with your definitions. We're happy to do that because guess what? Like Armin said, based on the definitions you gave, he and I would probably agree. Yeah, man, based on those definitions, atheism is a belief system.
Maybe.
Maybe. Right. Like we don't even know. We can't even get there yet. But
if you just give us the step, so then we go to your definitions. Like we just want to understand that you agree that based on our definitions, it's not a belief system. Once you show us that, then we go and play with your definitions. But you just don't want to give us anything, and that's why we are having such a hard time into moving the next step, because I think that you don't want to. You feel like you've been defeated or something. Like, I don't know why you're being so stubborn. Yeah. It's pretty easy to see that based on the definitions that me and Elliot use, then atheism is not a belief system. Is that not a fact? If it's not, just tell us why. That's really easy.
All right, I'm gonna tell you why it's not a fact. And I feel bad for disagreeing with you guys because y'all seem like nice guys. Yeah, I just want.
We are nice guys.
Seem like nice guys. Like people I want to throw a bone to. Like I'm sorry for like maybe breaking y'all hearts to disagree with y'all. But
it did. It hurt me deeply. It cut me deep. Yes, it hurt. Go ahead.
Yeah,
tell us why
I'm
we're wrong.
The emo, man.
Yeah.
I get it, man. I'm just cutting people deep.
That's right. Tell us why we're wrong.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all. All right. So the reason why y'all are wrong is because atheism is supposedly an answer to one question: do you believe in God? But one, there's the triune God, in which three persons in one. Huh?
No, go ahead. No, I'm letting you. No, I'm letting you go for a second here, man. I think it's going to make a great point.
I can't believe that we're letting him speak because given the nonsense.
Yeah. Well, I figured he might wrap it up in 30 seconds. See, because I was going to use it as an example of like, here's how to not have a conversation, you know? It's like it would be as if, Armin, you asked me a direct question like, hey man, what are you eating for lunch later? And I responded with, man, gosh, the weather has been terrible this last week. It's just not a way to have a conversation, you know, like one person says something and the other person kind of builds off of that and moves forward. One more time, Mikey, one more time. I genuinely want, I think we can do this. And I appreciate you saying you think Armin and I, you know, are nice people. I think we're nice. I think you're probably nice too, man. I bet you, you know, we could get a beer sometime and have great laughs about things. I don't know, but
yeah,
here's what I want to understand. Okay. Last chance. I feel like you can do this. I really do. I believe in you. You said based on our definitions. Thank you. You said based on our definitions of atheism and belief system that there is still an argument to be made that atheism is a belief system. As succinctly as possible, as direct to the point as you can, my friend. How is that the case? Give us an example. How, under our definitions, does atheism still classify as belief system for you?
Atheism, according to your definition, classify as a belief system to me the same way that lesbianism classifies as a sexuality. Like if I ask you, hey, do you date men?
Okay. I gotta stop. I can't even keep going with that. Do you feel like that was a fair response, Armin? Do you feel like that?
I don't think this person even knows how to have a conversation. Okay. I don't know why.
All
I think we spent too much time on
Mikey, I'm so sorry. I'm letting you go.
Why are you? By the way, Elliot, when you say it would be fun, it would probably be fun to have a beer with Mikey. I hope you were just speaking for yourself because
Well, again,
I would not sign up for that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. That's fair. Again, I don't know. That's my only interaction with the guy. He could turn out to be even worse. Yeah. It was a little rough, man. That was a little rough because like that's the whole point. That's the whole point of doing an internal critique is like you say, I'm going to take what you said as true as the starting point, and then we move on from there. But every time we were like, okay, so you accept where we're starting. What's the problem? And his response was, well, you're starting at the wrong place. And it's like, well, we already figured that out, man. We already figured this out. I don't know.
I like how many theists think that it's a got you for you to, like, they think like, oh, I got you. Atheism is a belief system.
I'm glad you said that.
As if we are anti-belief system.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, they think we're being defensive because we are anti all belief systems. But like, I mean, I like humanism. That's a belief system, right?
Yeah.
I like
I like the
liberalism. You know?
Satanic Temple. I would say that they're a belief system. There are different definitions for things like religion and belief system, and there's a reason that we have those. And depending
Right.
on what definition you're taking, I take a very strict stance. When I use the term religion, I am specifically talking about an organization with a codified doctrine of beliefs and the belief in the supernatural. Okay. Those are included. That is not the United States' legal definition of religion, because the United States' legal definition of religion includes the Satanic Temple and secular humanism. In the first definition of religion, I'm against all religions. In the second definition, I'm not. I don't think that's particularly crazy or complicated. Do you, Armin? Am I way off base?
No. But yeah, no, you're right. But I just want to spell this out to people. Okay, when we say atheism is not a belief system, it's not because like it's a got you if you show us that it's a belief system. Because me and Elliot do have belief systems. Am I correct about
Yes,
Elliot?
yes,
we do have belief systems. Okay,
Everybody does.
atheism might not be one of them. Okay, but we do have other belief systems beyond just our beyond, we're more than just atheists. We do ascribe to certain belief systems here, right? But I mean, I'm interested to see what would be the next step. Like, atheism is a belief system. I got you. Or like, I got us how? Like, how is that a win for you?
Yeah,
how is that like? Okay.
It almost feels like the plan is to get us atheists to go, okay, you got us. We have a belief system. And then they're going to be like, aha, so therefore atheism can't be real because you don't like belief systems. But again, like that's not belief
we
systems.
Do like belief. We like good belief systems. We hate bad belief systems. We like good. I get. And also, how do I sign up for the belief system lesbianism? Because I'm actually interested. Like, is that something that
I was a little surprised. I was a little surprised that was where we went. I don't know. Maybe it's a belief system. I'm gonna.
I didn't know. Lesbians in the live chat. I didn't know you guys have your own specific belief system. Can you let us know what that is?
There's got to be a church. It's 2024. There's probably a church. We have some other wonderful theist calls we are excited to take. But real quick, I am gonna talk about these wonderful super chats that came through. We've got $5 from Dennis Talencombe. I'm too afraid to call in and make a fool of myself, but I honestly have had doubts lately. You guys have me thinking. Dennis, let me tell you this right here, right now. If you call in, whether it's us on screen or any of the other hosts on this channel or Talk Heathen, and you are genuine in your conversation, you will absolutely not be embarrassed. Absolutely not. Because there is nothing wrong with being wrong. It's staying wrong. That's the issue. Okay. So give us a call if you're having doubts. We also have fantastic Facebook groups run by fans and a bunch of other places. The fan run Discord. Go hang out there. Talk with some people. There are always great people there.
But I have a trick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you read Dennis's super chat, right? All right. So here's the trick. When you are calling into a live show or anywhere else, and you are afraid to make a fool out of yourself, here's what you do. You tell the hosts that you're afraid of that, and that will immediately make them go easy on you, right?
Right.
And it will make them look so bad to the audience if they don't go easy on you. So every time you're afraid of making a fool out of yourself, just tell the host, like, by the way, guys, I'm afraid of making a fool out of myself. And that's just a signal to the host to just go easy.
And write down what you're going to say. That's just good advice for every caller. Like just take a few seconds to write a few bullet points and maybe have a response or two, like, hey, I think, a common response to this is this. Well, here's my response to that. Like, that's awesome. We love people to be prepared because it actually makes these conversations more productive. Like, Armin and I are genuinely up here trying to say, like, hey, we could be wrong. And if we're wrong, we don't want to stay being wrong. We would like to be corrected, which is why, we repeatedly asked our last caller to correct us, despite that not happening. Go ahead.
Elliot, just one more.
Yeah.
The people who make the fool out of themselves are the people who are so arrogant or who are
True.
trying to look smart.
True.
Right? If you're not claiming to be like somebody that like or being arrogant, then you can't make a fool out of yourself
true.
because you're being
Yeah.
humble.
That's
Yeah.
true. I think that's very fair. And we
Right.
often respond like in kind to the level of emotion that's given to us, you know? So if you if you call in Dennis and you're like, screw you atheists, you're a bunch of baby murderers, like you're probably not going to have a great call. But if you call in like the way Armin said,
I mean, that would be fine though.
it would be fun. It would be fun. You know,
The audience would love that.
maybe
yeah.
one of our theists on hold here,
Yeah.
and we will get to you, I promise. Theists, give me just a second. We're gonna run through these last few super chats. We've got $9.99 from David Baumgartner saying, I've been watching and listening for a few years. Thank you for all the work that you and the rest of the community does. Well, thank you, David. We really do appreciate that. And again, it's because of you and people like you that we keep doing this, man. Miranda Rensberger is a new member too. Gave us $5 and said, why did God make me need glasses? It makes it impossible to do a proper face palm. That's true. That's true. You would think an all-knowing God would have planned for that. And Robin Webster, who's been a member for 1 year, sent us $2 and said, let's have a beer at NanoCon in Nashville. That is awesome. That was where I met Robin 2 years ago, actually, right? 2022. Was that right, Robin? I think it was 2022. We had NanoCon. Fun group of atheists and whatnot. And real quick, Alex, hang on in North Carolina. We are coming to you right now. But before we do, I'm going to tell you this real quick, that the ACA wants you to know what is going on in our community, and there is an easy way for you to do that, okay? www.atheist-community.org. You can learn all about the organization itself, its policies, and how you can get involved. And I am telling you, you want to get involved, folks. It is a lot of fun. It is a great time, both before and after the show, with our wonderful crew. They are great people, and they paid me money to say that. So Alex in North Carolina is a theist. He, him says he believes the gospel accounts are true. Well, Alex, I'm going to tell you, I don't. I'm Secular Rarity, and I don't think Armin Navabi does either. So tell us your thoughts on that. Why do you believe that they are true?
Well, I believe that they're true is because eyewitness accounts are very important, especially because, we know that there
Are the Gospels eyewitness accounts?
And
real quick, are the Gospels eyewitness? You're talking about Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, right?
Yes, Matthew. We have to understand Matthew.
Where in any of those books does it say, I personally, insert name here, witness this account? Where do any of the books say that?
Well, you have to understand Matthew. He did write his gospel account. Some people
hang on,
say that somebody else wrote
hang on,
it.
Alex, real quick. This is very important, man. This is a really important thing. Okay, you're claiming that these books say that they are eyewitness accounts. And I'm not saying that's not true. That's not where I'm coming from here, brother. I'm saying, hey, that's awesome. I didn't know they were eyewitness accounts. Could you give me the chapter and verse? Where in any one of those books, you got 4 to pick from, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, any one of those, where does it say, I, insert the name of the author, witnessed these accounts and are writing these out for you? Anywhere that it says that. I can only think of one that sort of comes close. Not really, kind of, maybe, not really, it doesn't. But I can think of one, but I'll give you a chance. Is there anywhere in the Gospels that it says something like that?
Well, like I'm trying to say, I believe Matthew did write the first gospel account.
No, I understand that you believe it, man.
That's not the question.
I understand that you believe it, Alex, but come on, man. Be honest with me here. You must at least know the name Theophilus, yeah? Who is Theophilus, and why is he important?
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with
Okay,
Theophilus.
that's fine. Hang on, Alex. Let me help here. Okay, I'll put you on mute for just a second. Okay, let me help. The only place in those 4 books where it gets even close to indicating who the individual might be and the fact that they witnessed anything is in Luke. Luke, okay, which comes after Mark, comes after Matthew, is around the same time as Acts, before John, but all of that comes after the 7 authentic letters that Paul wrote, okay? All of that comes decades later, right? And the only thing Luke says is, hey, man, Theophilus, I'm writing this stuff down because you asked me to. It's all factual. That's it. He doesn't say who he is. Doesn't say when he did it. Doesn't give us any indication whatsoever. So the only way that we are saying these are eyewitness accounts is because of church tradition, because nothing in the books actually directly says that. Now, I don't think that just because they're not eyewitness accounts doesn't mean that there could be some truth in there, right? There could absolutely still be some true things going on in these books, man. But you can't say that they're eyewitness accounts because not a single one of them claims that. Does that make sense? I'm taking you off of mute now. Does that make sense, Alex, what I'm saying here?
Well, that's your opinion, but in my
It's
belief,
not my
I do
opinion.
believe
You can go Google
are
it right
eyewitness
now.
accounts.
Where in those books does it say, I, insert authors' names, wrote these things down because I saw them? That's what you need for an eyewitness account, man. You have to have somebody saying that they saw it, that they witnessed it, right? Where does it say that? Because if it doesn't say it anywhere in the books themselves, then you have to go to outside the books, which is the case. It's
But
church
even if
tradition.
it did say it inside the book,
Oh, I
you
know,
could
Armin.
just
Hang
look
on.
up
No, I know. We haven't
Yeah.
gotten there yet. I want to go step by step here,
Okay.
man. You're
All
jumping
right. All right.
ahead.
Step by
You're
step.
too-
Step.
Does-
Okay.
Are we on the same page that look, you don't have to accept it, Alex. I want you to go research this. I want you to go talk to your learned scholars in church, okay? Please. But do you see where at the very least I'm starting? I'm starting from this position of saying, hey, man, they're actually not eyewitness accounts because they never make that claim themselves. We're going to go to the next step, which is if they are eyewitness accounts, what does that mean? But do you at least see where I'm coming from to start off this conversation?
Well, yes, I can see where you're coming from.
Okay.
But
so let's
gonna
take the next step
I-
and say,
I'm
okay,
putting-
fine, they are eyewitness accounts. What does that mean for us?
I mean,
Well, that means everything that they say is true. Everything that they've always said is true.
Armin,
Because
you have any thoughts on
you
that?
have to admit,
we, there's a step that we missed.
Well, yeah.
There's
Oh,
a step in
What
between.
step did we miss?
The step
Please.
in between was the book claiming that they're eyewitnesses without actually being eyewitnesses. So let's say, for example, in the Gospels,
That's true.
it claimed that there are eyewitnesses.
Okay.
Alex, how do you know? Do you understand that you could just make the claim that there were eyewitnesses? How could you tell the difference between the claim that there are eyewitnesses without there actually being eyewitnesses and there actually have been eyewitnesses? How could you tell the difference between these two? And please answer the specific question that I'm asking, not something else, right? So let's say, for example, you had the Gospels and it said there were, for example, Jesus was crucified and then he raised from the dead, and there were 500,000 witnesses, okay? And it's just written that it's just right there in the Gospel. There were 500,000 people witness Jesus rising from the dead. It written that, or like something more believable. Let's just say 500 people just witness Jesus like ascending into heaven. How could you tell the difference between that claim without it actually being true? The fact that there were actually witnesses. Let's say, for example, somebody wrote down that there were 500 witnesses, but there were 0 witnesses. This is A. B, somebody wrote down that there were 500 witnesses and there were actually 500 witnesses. They actually did exist. How could you tell the difference between A and B?
well, for the if someone was to claim there were 500 witnesses, then that means there wasn't really 500 witnesses. But this event did happen. There were 500 witnesses.
Right. Hang on,
And the
Alex.
disciples
Hang on, Alex.
themselves
No,
You
dude,
stepped
witnessed.
off
You
the
didn't answer the
path
question.
here. You stepped off the path here. What Armin is asking, okay, because what you said was if somebody's claiming that, then that indicates that it's not true. Yeah, That's what we're saying. We're granting that on one side of this equation is where somebody made the claim that there were all these witnesses, but it wasn't actually the case. Oh no. But then on the other side, somebody else is making a claim that there were all these witnesses, and it actually is true. How do you tell the difference between whether or not it's just a claim and didn't happen, or it actually is real? What method would you use? That's what Armin's asking.
Yeah, Alex, when you responded to me, you just responded with, okay, it's not A, it's B. Like there's a claim that 500 witnesses are there, and there were actually 500 witnesses there. Okay, so you just said that it's B. Trust me, it's B. My question, you didn't answer my question. My question was, how could you tell that it's B and not A? What tools do you use to realize that it's a B situation here and not an A situation here?
Well, because in order for there to be written evidence that there were 500 witnesses, someone had to witness that.
Wait.
500
You're saying
witnesses.
somebody couldn't just make up the claim that there were 500? Hey, I got you. I got you here, Alex. Right now, you can't see it because my camera's pointed this way, but there are 500 people on the other side of that camera. Hey, guys, good to talk to you. Awesome. Good to see you. Glad you made it. Glad you made it. They're all over there. Are you saying that's true? Are you saying there are 500 people in my house right now?
Well, I would believe that there's more people watching this talk show. But
No.
remember,
In
500
my house,
witnesses
man. The claim
witnessed-
is there are 500
my
witnesses
God.
right here, right now, witnessing me do this in real time. You just said somebody couldn't make that claim if it's not true. Are you telling me you genuinely believe 500 people are in here? Am I going to have to honestly turn my camera around and show everybody my crappy room? Is that what we're going to have to do here? Or are you going to accept, hey, man, yeah, okay, that's not exactly true. Of course, people could make the claim.
well,
Alex, the
actually,
question
yeah.
is very, Alex,
also make
let me
your
explain the
claim.
question for you, because the question is very simple. Why you are basically claiming that the option of somebody claiming that there were 500 witnesses without it being true is not possible. Like you are, for some reason, you're acting like that is not a possible option. Do you agree that that's a possible, that could happen? Somebody could claim that there were witnesses and there were no witnesses. That is something that could happen. People are capable of doing that. Do you agree with that?
I believe that there were 500 witnesses.
We know that you
That's not the
believe
question. Alex, I think you don't,
Yeah,
Alex,
that's
I
the
think you
question.
don't understand the question. Let me tell you what me and Elliot understand, okay? Me and Elliot understand that you believe there were 500 witnesses. We've
Totally.
got that.
On
We
board.
understand that.
Yep.
So there's another question. We're asking a different question from you right now. Our question from you is that is it possible, not about Jesus, about anything else, okay? Is it possible for humans to do this? Is it possible for any human at any point in history to go write down on a piece of paper that some event happened and 500 people saw it and that event had not happened and there were no 500 witnesses, but the person did write that down without any of those things happening? Is that something that could happen? Do you acknowledge that this is something that could happen?
That could happen, but in this case, that's not what happened.
Okay.
Great. Why?
So how do you know that?
How do you know that? Yes.
How do you know that it didn't happen in this case? We've now gotten to the step of saying, hey, man, you know what? Okay, it could be the case that somebody did that, but this case is not one of those. Armin and I are absolutely willing to accept that if you can just show us how you determined that for yourself. How did you figure this out?
Because in order for someone to write about 500 witnesses, they had to get this information from someone who witnessed 500 witnesses.
So then here's a problem. Here's two problems with what you just said. One, everything you just said is going back on what you just agreed to just literally 30 seconds ago. Okay. I suggest after this, you watch this back and you see how the thing you just said refutes the acceptance that you just gave us. You just said, yeah, actually, somebody could just write this down and it not be true, but this particular case was true. And then when we said, oh, cool, how exactly did you determine that? Your response was to refute the thing you just agreed to, but worse so, actually, Alex. Worse so. And here's why. And I'm going to leave you with this unless Armin has anything else. The reason what your response is even worse than that is because what you said was, for somebody to write this claim down, somebody had to tell them that that's what they saw. That means the person writing it down is not the eyewitness, but a secondary source who got the information from an eyewitness. Now, if that's what you called in to claim, we'd have a totally different stance on that, man. I'm willing to say that, hey, you know what? The Gospels are actually written by people who weren't themselves watching it, but maybe knew some people who watched some stuff. I think that's a much more defensible stance. I don't know how true it actually is. I don't know that the evidence actually supports that, but that's not the claim you made. You made the claim that they're eyewitnesses, okay? And so this is a problem, man. This is a problem because, again, you refuted your own statement and then refuted it again in a different way. So, Armin, any other thoughts before we go? We've got a great queue of theists, and I want to get to all of them.
Yeah, because Alex said that for you to claim that there were 500 witnesses, for you to write it down. I think there's something between there's something special about writing it down for Alex.
Yeah.
So Alex said for you to be able to write that down, somebody who has witnessed this, you have to meet people who have witnessed this, right? So I'm going to show, because Alex, I'm going to show you that it is possible for this. I just wrote on a piece of paper that I have a pink flying dog in my bedroom, and 500 people saw it. Okay, so I just did that. I wrote that. You just said for somebody to write that down, there had to actually been witnesses for something like this to happen, or else you wouldn't be able to write something like that down. Yeah. So I just did that. Do you now believe that I have a pink flying dog in my bedroom and 500 people have seen that? Do you believe that?
I'm going to unmute you, Alex. I'm unmuting you now. Do you think Armin's statement that he just wrote down is true? Do you believe that?
Well, that's his claim, but unfortunately, his claim doesn't really, change anything, because
boom, because you need outside evidence of just the claim itself. That's what we're trying to get to, Alex. I got you on mute again, man, and we're gonna let you go here in a second. But that's what I was trying to get to this whole time, and I'm glad we finally got there. Okay, I really do. I really valued this conversation, man. I'm sorry if it felt like we were getting a little heated on our end, but this, you should have gone with the hippo. It would have been cooler. But either way, Alex, thank you. That's awesome, man. Go back and watch this and call us back, okay? Because I think that's a super critical point that you just got to, which is, just because Armin wrote that thing doesn't actually mean that it's true. We need some outside corroboration of that. So thank you so much, Alex. Again, I'm letting you go, man. We got a bunch of other calls, and I want to get to all of them if we can. I think the crew will probably let us go over. Or we'll just keep talking until they shut it off. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I want to let you guys know about something awesome that we have. We have a new limited edition t-shirt. It says, "I'm sorry for what I said when I believed in God." I think all of us feel that way. So get your purchase in before it goes away at the end of this month. Again, you only got about 10 days. Real easy for you. tiny.cc/merchaca. You can get t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, phone cases, yo-yos. I don't think we have yo-yos. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, crew. I didn't mean to say that. No? If people start asking for yo-yos in mass, I apologize. We also have
You just started a thing.
This is why we can't have nice things. They're like, every time they bring me on, they're like, all right, what crap are we going to have to deal with afterwards? We've got $5 Canadian from Halo Master 1243 saying, oh, and they've been a member for 2 months, saying, I was going to call today, but the queue was full, unfortunately. Have a good show, you two, and hopefully you get some great calls. Sending my love and support. Well, thank you so much, Halo Master. And if you are free later on, Armin and I are actually going to be hanging out in the Discord with our wonderful host, Kelly Laughlin. We always love hanging there. And so if you come there, you can ask us questions or yell at us, I guess. I guess they could come yell at us. Are you okay with that?
Oh, that would be fun.
You want to
Yeah,
get yelled at? Okay.
I would prefer. It's too friendly there.
It's too
Like, come and
friendly.
yell at it. It is. It
Armin
is. I
wants
want a
the
little bit of
spice.
I want conflict. I like conflict. Yes.
Well, how about this? Let's get
Right.
some conflict. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm excited for it all. I think these are some good calls. We've got Jared is a theist. He, him in Kentucky wants to talk about the necessity of God. Well, hey, Jared, you're chatting with SR and Armin. What is up?
What's going on, guys? I did want to kick off the conversation by clarifying that we all understand what it means for something to be logically necessary. Do you guys know what that means?
Yeah, and I'm comfortable with saying there is a necessary thing.
Right. Well, just to be clear, what do you think it means for something to be logically necessary?
Well, are you saying in like the contingency sense, like this thing has to exist, otherwise all of these other contingent things can't come from it?
No, just for something to be logically necessary.
Give it to me, man. Give it to me. If you've got a specific understanding, lay it out for us.
Sure. So I'll just lay it. So a proposition is just going to be something that's going to be true or false. So a statement that has, its truth out. And so something that's going to be necessarily true is going to be something that negates, or the negation of the said proposition entails a contradiction. And so my view is that atheism entails a contradiction with regards to God being true.
Cool. Yeah. Let's go with that.
I mean,
I think I'm on board so far. Armin, you on board? You got any problems?
No, atheism is a contradiction with God being real. Yeah, okay, so sure, go on.
I think Jared was saying there's a contradiction in atheism, not atheism and God being real.
Oh, okay.
God.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he's saying there's a
Alright.
logical necessity of God that would ultimately make atheism false. Is that where you're going, Jared?
Is that what you meant, or did you mean to say there's a contradiction between God existence and atheism? Which
That'd be a
which we
short
would
call.
agree, okay.
That'd be a short call, Jared. Yeah. That'd be a short. I don't think that's what you're saying.
All right, go on, Joe.
Yeah, sure. So, both would be true. It'd be a contradiction from the truth, and the negation would entail a contradiction internally. But yeah, so the claim is just going to be referencing God as the necessary precondition. That's going to be like unconditionally the precondition. That's going to be like necessarily non-contingent and universally ultimate that instantiates and secures the truth-value propositions.
Yeah,
And
I'm
so
comfortable with that.
working
Why
under
is it
this
God
definition
instead of anything
God-
else? Why did that set of
well-
attributes apply to God and nothing else? I'm comfortable with that being the case. I'm
no.
not saying that I agree. I'm just saying I'm comfortable with going down to the next step here. Let's just say we grant that thing. Why is that God? How did you determine that?
Sure. So just like a basic semantics rundown, I'm just going to be using mouth sounds to refer to a concept. And the concept that I'm referring to is just going to be a thing that has the attributes of being atemporal, unconditional, precondition. It's going to be necessarily non-contingent, universally ultimate, instantiates, and secures the truth.
So by definition.
So
by
I'm just using
definition is what you're saying. I just want to make sure we're on the same page
No.
because I'm comfortable with this, but it sounds like what you're saying is there is a set of criteria that adheres to the concept, the mouth sounds that we make for the concept, necessary, logically necessary. And then what you're going to say is that set of criteria that indicates that thing is also the set of criteria that indicates your God, right? Am I wrong?
So close, but I'm just saying that this is going to be the set of attributes that are going to be necessary. That is to say that the negation of such would entail a contradiction internally.
That's fine.
will
That's
collapse.
fine that
So,
those attributes are the necessary thing. That's fine. We've already moved on. How do we make the next step, which is applying that to a specific entity that you call God and then add extra attributes onto? That's all I want, man. I'm not disagreeing with your list here. I'm saying fine. I mean, I could argue about what atemporal means and so forth, but I don't think it's worth it, because I think this is the crux of the issue. Here's your toys. You got them. Now show me how they fit together and make a nice puzzle. All I need to know is, how do these attributes apply to your God, and how'd you determine that? That's it.
Well, just to be clear, when you're granting this, you are granting that atheism entails a contradiction.
No, I'm not. I'm granting that there is a necessary thing that has a specific set of attributes for existence in general. You're then saying that that necessary thing has to be this magical thing that you love. The problem is, you're then adding extra specific attributes that you didn't have to begin with. And all I'm trying to do is say, you're right on those first set of attributes. Congrats. We're on the same page. We both won a prize. And now you're stepping off a ledge into something else. And all I want to know is, you tell me there's a bridge there. Can you help me walk across it, please? How do you get to the next step?
Well, okay.
We got the necessary criteria.
So
How does that take us to God?
Sure. So just to be clear, this is going to be a deistic position once you're granting this, which is to say that atheism is false. I just want to make...
Sorry for all the people out there listening with headphones on. Here's why I don't give a crap then if what you're saying is you're going to end up with deism. If your God is one that you can't detect by your criteria, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist for you. You have no justification for believing in it. If that's all we're going to do, Jared, I'm just going to let this go, unless Armin has any other thoughts. Because what we're doing right now is we're going through a lot of spinning of wheels to make absolutely no progress in this journey. If where you are trying to end up is a deist God, a God that by definition does not interact with the world in any detectable way, I think we're done with the conversation. So, Armin, do you have any thoughts before I bring back Jared and get his thoughts on if we're just ending at deism? Because
I think
don't know.
you just nailed it. I don't want to go much further because I think we're going in circles. I think a lot of you feel free to drop that call. I just want to. By the way, I'm not on the screen yet. I don't know why.
You're not. You're still hidden. Where is he?
I'm
Where are
still-
you,
I'm
Armin?
still-
Don't go
hello,
away.
hi,
All right, Jared.
good.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to let you go. You said the word that
there we
needs
go.
to be said in this conversation for us to end it, because again,
Right.
you're going through all this effort to apply attributes to something that you apparently agree is undetectable. So I don't feel like it's worth it for our peoples.
Drop the
Armin?
call, but I just want to say, first
Please.
of all, I just want to say that was
Rough.
10 out of 10. That was
Oh, thank
beautiful. I'm going to go. Yeah, no, I think this needs to be clipped out. I'm going to go watch it
Oh my
because
God.
I think that was a very good response.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
No, but also I just I think this is a trick people play. Like when we say atheist, we're talking about the God that people meant, throughout history.
Yeah.
This self-aware, human-like creature that gets angry, that gets happy, that it wants to punish people and reward people.
That wrote a
that
book.
answers to prayer. That wrote a book. Yeah, like that. Yeah, and that created the world, that manages the world. When we say we're an atheist, we say, yeah, we don't believe in that. Okay? So if you want to go and come up with a new definition of God and come up with a definition that it's must exist, you go find a way to come up with something within logic or within the universe that we either agree that exists, for example, nature, or I don't know, energy or love or whatever, or just something within the laws of logic that, it has to be, like it has to be for everything else to make sense, right? And if you want to call that God, and like, okay, sure, if, that thing exists, or like, I call that God, so you're not an atheist. Like, when we said we're an atheist, that we weren't referring to that, okay?
Yeah,
because I can literally just call my cat a
It's
god,
chapstick
and
is
all of a
God.
sudden now Yeah, no, well, no, okay, now, okay, if you're going to call that God, okay, sure, we
Yeah.
believe in God.
Yeah.
That's not what we meant when we said we're an atheist, right? All
Right. And no,
Yeah.
I think that's perfect, man. It's just like, again, I don't mind having those conversations. I really don't. I've had those conversations a lot. It's just I feel like it's a little bit slippery whenever we're having this conversation and you're laying this all out, and then like after like 10 minutes of us trying to make progress, you go, well, I'm talking about like my singular esoteric version of God that's actually clouds. And it's like, well, shit, man, you could have saved us all 20 minutes. Like, Jared, if you're still out there or you watch back in the future, I'm going to offer this to you. Call us back. Next time you see myself or Armin on the show, give us a call and just start with, hey, I'm going to say that a deist God exists, and we're going to move from there. And we'll just, for funsies' sake, we'll just give it to you. Because again, I still think there's problems even with your, even with that. Even with all of your toys, I still believe it won't work out for you. So call us back. We'll try it. We'll try it again. But before we go to another good theist call, I am sure these will be great theist calls. Before we do that, Armin, we are contractually obligated to do at least this every show. We have to. We are required. We might have signed in blood. Now, I don't think so, but we're going to shout out to the amazing, incredible crew we have. Some of the greatest people out there. They always send checks on time, and they always make it about 10 minutes before we start the show. And that is perfect for me to get excited. No, seriously, they are a wonderful group of people who do quite a lot of work behind the scenes. And there are even more people than those people you saw on screen. There are people in the chats. There are people taking care of the fan run Facebook groups and the fan run Discords. So all of you, thank you so much. You are the reason that Armin and I get to come here and do very little work. It's good. It is nice. But you want to talk about love and Yahweh and Allah and whatnot? You feeling it?
All the time.
All the time. Well, we are going to go to
I'm
New
excited.
Jersey because we've got him is a theist named Love Is My Religion. I might just call you Love. Hey, Love, you're talking with Secular Rarity and Armin Navabi. What do you got for us today?
Well, I've been listening to your show, and basically, I was talking to my wife, who came in 2-3 times and saying, "What are you doing?" She's a very religious person. I said, "Why don't you join me?" She said, "No, you want to take me off from God? No, I'm not going to join you." So I once joked with her. I said, "Look, I'm an atheist now, okay?" And she got very ticked off.
Whoa.
And then I had to win her over. And I said, "You know who's an atheist? An atheist is an A-grade theist. For he is reaching for the God within."
Okay.
Right? So then I had to explain that but I'm not an atheist. I'm a theist, by the way.
Okay.
Right? But I do believe that atheists are people who are reaching for the God within, not for a God that exists or the seventh heaven or the other stuff, you know.
What do you
we
mean
do
by a
have-
God within? What that phrase
by
in and of
God?
itself, Love, doesn't really make sense to me. Like, I know what each individual, I mean, I have a decent understanding of each individual word, but it doesn't make sense. So when you say atheists are searching for the God within, what does that mean? What am I searching for?
Basically, we are always going for something higher in the sense of understanding.
What does that mean?
So
What do you mean higher? Do you
higher
mean
in
like the
sense-
ladder in the next room, or do you mean like
I'm talking
something?
of understanding, of connecting to people, of bringing people together, and all that stuff, you know. So when we do that, we are actually going to be reaching for something which is within us, gives us more power. Now, sometimes we have to rely on. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
So here's the thing. What do you mean by God? What do you mean by God?
God. Now I can let's say again,
Just-
because my
Can you just
I'm an atheist. I
just answer this? It's a very simple and specific question, right? When you say God, okay, what are you referring to? Like, how do you define that? I don't. Again, just to be
God-
clear, I'm not talking about. Yeah, go on.
the power within that leads us to do good deeds, right? That is
Okay, the drive. Okay, so you're saying you call the drive. I would rather call it drive rather than power, right? The drive within us that leads us to want to do good things. You call that God, right?
yes, I do.
Is it? Oh, good.
That's why-
Good. So based on what you call God, okay, I do believe in God, and
Yeah, I think
I would
that
call
exists.
myself a God. Yeah, because what you're saying does exist, and I do believe in it. Okay, but it's just not a very helpful use of language,
Agreed.
because that's not what most people mean when they're talking about God. I mean, you could keep that definition. It's completely up to you how you use words. Okay, nobody can force you to use words differently, but I think me and Elliot think that when we use words in a way that makes us be able to communicate more effectively, because that's the whole point of words, right?
Yeah.
And for words to be able to be used in a way that makes us communicate more effectively, it's better to use definitions that more people are using, right? That's how they increase the utility of them, right? So based on how you define what God is, I do believe in that. I do believe that thing exists.
Mhm.
I just tend not to call it God. And I think it's not helpful to call it God, because we already have other ways to describe what you're trying to describe. Most people, when they're talking about God, they're referring to something. It leads to confusion if we use the word for God to refer to what you're trying to refer to. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do understand that. Now, the proof of God outside was given to me by my wife. Now, take this as a joke, okay? Now, I said, okay, prove to me.
Oh,
that
before
God-
before we go to your wife, right? So, do you agree that, based on, I mean, are you a theist yourself now? If God does not mean the drive within you to do good things, if that was not the definition of God, if the
Yeah.
definition of God was this self-aware, conscious, human-like creator of the universe that is actively involved in managing the universe and everything that exists, then would you be if that was the definition of a God, would you still be a theist?
Yeah, I'm a theist, very much a theist in both sense. I'm approaching it in both sense. You see.
Okay.
Now,
Well,
Okay.
then
now,
let's talk
I
about
was
let's talk
also-
about the external sense, because again, I think while that could be an interesting conversation, why Armin and I, because I agree with Armin. I say, hey man, I don't think that's what most people mean. I also don't think it's probably helpful doing that. But like, hey, we know what you're talking about in the internal sense. Fine. We're on board. We say that drive to do good things exists. But let's focus on the external sense. When you're talking about a God in that capacity, what does that mean to you? And then how do we get to the proof of it, the demonstration of it, right?
Yeah, I was going to give you that external proof too. So my wife, when I asked my wife, give me a proof, she said, "Look, I have been praying about to God about giving me a perfect man, and He gave me you." Right. So that's
I mean, that's sweet. That's really sweet, but obviously it's not, that's not something that's actually going to help demonstrate anything. Yeah, I think that's adorable. I love that. I'm glad that
Honestly, if that line was given to me, I would not argue with that. I mean, sometimes you want to be right, and sometimes you just want to be romantic.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Who said atheists don't understand romance? But I mean, come on, love. If you believe that there is this external version of a God that exists out there, okay? Armin and I are in the boat of saying, look, we don't think so. But if it's out there, we don't want to be wrong. Like, we want to be correct on this. So if it's really out there, what was it that tipped the scale for you to actually start believing that it exists? that external God, not that internal drive to do good, that external, in reality, super duper real God, what was it that led you to accepting its truth, the truth claim there?
Now, let me, a viable proof that God exists comes like when a person is doing his utmost to be successful in a given thing, and in spite of all his effort, he fails, and he is at the peak where he wants to go berserk. He might go berserk or might just commit suicide. He gets satisfaction in the belief that, oh, this is the will of God, right? Now, when the rubber meets the road, this guy, this belief, call it.
Oh, you still there, love? We might have got disconnected. I don't know.
I'm feeling weird calling him love. Hey,
yeah,
love.
I know, me too. It is a little strange, you know. But
Hello? Can you
Hey,
hear me?
pumpkin.
hey, we got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you still there, love? I wanna try to finish.
Yeah, I'm here. Where did I get stopped? Should I start from the beginning?
It was like right at
Viable
the
proof.
point of you saying, it sounded like the last thing I heard was, you've got this person that's trying their best, and despite all their best efforts, they continue to fail. It provides them comfort in that moment to say, this is the will of God, that I'm not succeeding despite my efforts. Was there more after that?
Yeah, what I'm saying is, now, whether true or false this belief is, it seems to be true, because where the rubber meets the road, this guy is getting the satisfaction. It's keeping him from going berserk. It's keeping him from committing suicide.
Okay, so let's just stop right there for just a second, because I think this is really, really crucial, okay? It sounds like what you're saying is that the truth of this claim of whether or not God exists is demonstrated by when people believe that this thing exists, in difficult times, it provides them solace and comfort. Is that a decent understanding of what you're saying? Is that what you're getting at here, love?
Very much, very much.
Okay, perfect. Good. I'm glad we're on the same page, because here's why I want to tell you that is super, super duper, super duper bad. A super, super duper, super duper, super duper, super duper bad way to come to a conclusion, okay? Because here's why. It provides me comfort in times of difficulty and strife to think that God isn't real, and I don't have some all-powerful, all-loving deity that could make my life better, and that I'm not just some puppet that's being fucked with so that something can get its jollies. That provides me great solace and comfort, and actually it provides many of the people currently watching this show live with us very great solace and comfort. Does that then mean that God does not exist? Does that have anything to do with the truth of whether or not God is real?
Well, for the person who believes and who gets solace, for him, God is real.
Nope.
For the guy
Nope.
who's not believing.
No. It's true or it's not true, right? If it's true for you, it's true for me, because truth is not this willy-nilly, we just get to cut it up and pull out whatever we want, man. We are making a claim about the external world, okay? We're not making an internal claim here. It's different if you say, I get comfort in this thought, right? That's different, because that can be true for you and not true for me. But when you take the step to go outside, when you take the step from internal to external, this idea of it's true for me, maybe not for you, it doesn't work anymore. Either 1 + 1 is 2 outside of all of us, or it just isn't. And if the criteria you're using is comfort in difficult times, the problem is we have a bunch of people out there who think Allah's real and provides a lot of comfort when they're having trouble. Then we got a bunch of people out there that get a lot of comfort thinking God's not real. And then we've got the thousands of other gods as well. And because this methodology can equally lead us to any one of these conclusions, it is a poor methodology for determining what is actually the case, man. Are you following that? Are you following that with me?
I am completely following that. But what do the results prove? That's what we have to see.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But those are two different. We have to look at two different things, right? You're trying to be practical. So whether or not the belief in God is helping people on average, or is causing more harm than or good in different individuals, that's one claim that we have to evaluate, which I actually disagree with you on that. Yeah. But it doesn't really, and another thing is, even if it was helping people and it was useful people, would that make it true? Because that seems like you seem to be suggesting that if it's practical, if it's helpful, that's how you evaluate if something is true or not. So let me actually play this game with you. Do you believe that the Earth is more flat or spherical? Like which one of these shapes do you think the Earth is closer to?
If the Earth is flat or
just answer my question. No. Answer my question. Which one of them is more is closer to the shape of the world?
In God.
Answer my question. I'm just trying to make a point through example. Answer my question.
Okay, I will answer your question. According to what I see, it's round. It's not flat. But I'm
okay. Great.
But hang on.
All right. Hold on. I will make. You say, who cares? What does this got to do? Well, if you give me a chance, then you will see how it's connected. You're like, how is this connected? What does this got to do with the belief in God? Well, maybe if you're patient enough, you will see the connection here. All right. So imagine if we had some people who were stressed out over the fact that the world is spherical. It really pisses them off. They don't like that. They are constantly thinking about what will happen if we go to the other side. What is keeping what is keeping people on Earth? And then you're also telling them that we're not in the center of the universe. And what does that say about the position of humans in the universe? All of this is stressing the crap out of these people, and they don't like it. All right. But if you tell them like, no, all of that was just a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo. There are a whole bunch of Illuminati or Satanists or whatever. They came up with these lies. All these pictures are fake. And the reality is that the Earth is flat. And you tell them, and it calms them down. A lot of them were like thinking really dark thoughts, and they were going to do things that I cannot say here on YouTube. But now that you told them that the Earth is flat, now they're calming down. They're like, okay, everything makes sense now. My worldview is now in line with what I want it to be. All good. And it really helped them. It really helped them calm down. Would that mean that the Earth is flat, given the utility that this belief has to those specific people?
So you're talking about the utility approach. Okay, the thing is, of course, they need to be educated, right? And like
answer my question. Love. Answer my question. Okay. You said that if the God belief, it works for some people, it helps them with their mental well-being or whatever, right? You said that makes it true for them. So that would make it true, right? So I'm saying, would you apply the same standards? If we told some people that the world is flat, and that helped them calm down and help them feel better about themselves or whatever mental, improvements that it had, would that make it true? Would that make the flat Earth theory true, given that it's helping them with their whatever mental issues they're going through?
Of course, it won't make it
did.
True. That won't make it true.
Say that again. Say that again, love. What did you just say?
That is going to not make the Earth the flat. You see, we have
boom.
What does it mean?
Hang on, love. Hang on. That's really, really important. That's a really, really big step. Okay. And I apologize if it looks like I was crying. I was laughing really hard off camera. I'll explain in a second. It's not at you though. It was just something, the way Armin said it. It really tickled me. But that is a really big step, man. Okay. recognizing that just because it makes somebody feel good, just because there is a practical utility to a claim, does not affect the truth of the claim at all. Whether or not Armin is bummed out by the shape of the earth has absolutely no bearing on what the shape of the earth is. And that is 100% true for everything else. God especially. If I feel good because I say, hey, God's not there, that doesn't have any bearing on whether he is or not. And the same for the believer. Armin, any other thoughts? I know we're probably
good.
about done. I think that was a great place to kind of end at, love. But if you have one or two more thoughts, give me a thought, and then we'll wrap it up with you.
Okay. The thing is, as far as Earth is concerned, whether it's round or whether it's flat, we do have scientific proof, right? But whether God exists or does not exist, we do not have proof of both things. The only proof we have is when
call us another day and let's discuss whether we have scientific proof for or against the existence of God, because I think I take a little bit of an interesting stance there, which is when somebody says, do we have scientific proof for or against God? My comment is normally it depends on your God. So call us about that in the future, man. I love talking science and God. Thank you so much, love. This is a really good chat. I thought it was, it was good. You didn't get yelled at though, Armin. You really wanted to get yelled at today.
Oh,
Sorry about that, man.
I'm sad now.
Yeah, I know.
But again, love, is if you're listening to this later, that was not the point. Whether or not we have proof or not, the point is that the utility of a belief does not make it true. It doesn't really matter. Okay, if you didn't like the flat Earth claim because you say like we have proof that the Earth is not flat, I could easily come up with another one, right? I could here's it. I believe that the universe started out of the fart of a giant turtle in a parallel universe. Okay, a giant
that makes me feel good, Armin.
And that fart was the Big Bang in our universe. Okay, I like that. Does it make you feel good? It makes me feel very good. Okay, if you take that away from us, we're going to be very, very, very sad. Okay, I might actually go ahead and cry. Right? So does that make it true? Okay, now here I just gave you a claim that science has not proved that is true, but it also has not been able to refute it. There's no proof that this is not real. In fact, because it comes from a parallel universe, that you have no access to it. There's no way that you could falsify this claim. There's no way. Go ahead and try. All right. So there you go. Now my claim is true because it makes us happy. Apparently. That makes Santa real, by the way.
Yeah, it does. It does make Santa real, and the tooth fairy, and a lot of things. So the reason, so that entire time that I was off camera there while you were talking to the last call, I was literally crying. I was laughing so hard because what you said about like, there's this group of people out there that get really upset that the shape is like the shape of the earth is spherical. What popped into my head is like an 8-year-old like sitting on his bed, like real sad. And his dad comes in, is like, "What's wrong, champ?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. It's just the world's probably a ball." Just the thought of somebody being like deeply emotional because the earth is like a certain shape. It really got me.
By the way, I wasn't making that up. There are people who stress out over this a lot. Like there are people who think that the idea of a spherical world is terrifying. Like they do exist.
That's right. Oh my goodness. Well, Armin, I have something special. And I want to play it. And the good news is that our phenomenal crew will actually take care of all the work. Folks, there is a way to reach out to us. And we love it when people do. We love when people in our community let us know, kind of where they are in life and things that, have helped them and so forth. And we got this really cool voicemail the other day, and so we just want to play that for you guys and show you what it's kind of all about for us. So crew, whenever y'all are ready, if you'll get that voicemail for us.
Hey, just want you to know you're talking to an old man. I just had my 90th birthday, and the big deal is that I've been a Christian most of my life. Well, whatever, some kind of a believer. And about 10 years ago, I started to just unwind from it, and I just all of a sudden became an atheist. And so here I am, an atheist, and I don't know what the hell to do with the rest of my life, because here I am in 90, and I could die at any moment. So I want to tell somebody, hey, thank you kindly for being there, and for all you guys that are on the brink, it's okay. You got it made. God bless. Have a good one. Take it easy. Play it cool. What I say, God bless too. Okay, I'm used to it. See you next time. Bye.
Is that not one of the most wholesome freaking things ever? That is just
beautiful.
so great. I absolutely love that. I love the did I just say God bless to a bunch of atheists? Oh my look, man, thank you so much. Thank you so much for reaching out to us and letting us know. Because again, it can be difficult to do this. It can weigh on you in a lot of different ways. And it's really, really nice to have those calls every so often. Those do make me feel good, and if that proves the truth that God isn't real, then I'm comfortable with that in this position. No, I'm kidding. Use a good methodology for coming to truth no matter what. But that guy, thank you so much for reaching out, man. We really appreciate it. And anybody else that wants to reach out to us, we always love that stuff. We love that stuff. And spicy calls too, actually. If you want to leave us a voicemail message where you just say mean things about Armin and I, you could do that. It's fine with us. We enjoy those, and we play those behind the scenes and laugh. But Armin, I don't want to go just yet. But we're getting close to that time. And I guess I gotta remind everybody that the prompt for this week in the Share Your Experience is, why did God really create humans? Why did God really create humans? So get your answers in the comments. Okay. Get your answers underneath this video in the comments, not in the live chat. Stop it. I see you trying to type it in the live chat. Don't do it. It won't be picked. Put it in the comments. Okay. And yeah, maybe you'll be read out on next week's episode. But Armin, we can't go without hearing your thoughts, man. What do you got? What do you got to say for us here?
I was distracted with the people in the live chat worshiping my giant farting turtle, and a lot of I saw some turtle emojis. I saw some people worshiping, saying the worship, hail the turtle. So guys, I'm really happy because I've been giving this example now for years, and this is just my secret way of just trying to get this religion spread. Okay, again, the giant turtle in a parallel universe who farted, and that was the beginning of our Big Bang, right? So if after the show, if you want to help, leaving comments and liking the stream really helps. So after the show is over, if you don't know what to say and want to leave a comment, just hail the turtle or just a turtle emoji.
Let's see how many turtle comments we can get.
Yeah, give us turtle comments, guys. Let's do this. Let's make this a religion. Okay, let's make this a religion. Okay.
Anything else? That was it. I thought you had some grand wrap up or something. No, fine.
Is this not the greatest thing ever? Like this, I'm starting a new religion. This is pretty epic. I don't know what you're expecting.
Deal. That's fine. Okay, that's fair. It is kind of a big deal, I guess.
Yeah.
Folks, we always have fun here. I love being here. I had a great freaking time. Thank you so much to all the people that called in. Again, thank you so much to all of our wonderful crew, those you saw on the screen and those you don't see because they work so freaking hard all the time. Armin, I am sure you and I will be hanging out again over on Atheist Republic. You're practically doing a stream every day now. That's amazing, man. I think that's awesome. So we are fighting the good fight on lots of different fronts. And guess what? It's not over, because we're going to be back at it. Same freaking time, same freaking place. 4:30 p.m. Central next Sunday. I don't know who the hosts are, but I guarantee they are really cool. So thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us. And go be heathens. Go do atheist things, whether it's a belief system or not. I don't care. Praise the turtle.
Praise the turtle. That's great.
Stop questioning the bullshit. Watch Talk Heathen live Sundays at 1 p.m. Central. Visit tiny.cc/YTTH and call into the show at 512-991-9242 or connect to the show online at tiny.cc/callth.